So I know that you guys' phone is muted, but I want to make sure you can hear me. So if somebody could pick up and say, yep, I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. It's almost 10 a.m. Central Time, and I'm going to give everybody a few more minutes to hop on. I'm just doing a quick little call. This is yours. This is not supposed to be in this camera. It was supposed to be in that one. Sorry. It's okay. I stole somebody's office and she just came in, so I apologize. So it is 10 a.m. Central on a beautiful Friday. I saw the most amazing sunrise this morning, so I'm in a really good mood because I love seeing the sunrises and seeing the little hint of spring. What I think a hint of spring is here in Minnesota. So I want to welcome all you guys back again. I know that some of you have been on this call before with master trainers, and that you guys have been working through the different pieces of doing online facilitation as well as test outs. This third function that we have is with the Lifetime Academy. And so on this function, you would lead the Lifetime Academy curriculum across the country to our various students that we have. So what I want to do today is introduce you to what this is, let you know what the prerequisites are, and then inform you as well of what are the next steps, what are those training dates that we have. So to hear this, the best thing for everybody to do is just to put you on mute, and then there won't be any background noise. However, I'm in a club, so I might have some of the kids coming by this office screaming, but we'll just ignore that. So in front of you, you see that the PowerPoint I have for you. I will also be posting this in our Master Instructor Yammer group, which I love seeing all the comments and feedback that you have been putting into that Yammer group. So thank you for using that group. All right, so let's get started. So the very first thing, and we always start with this, is to share our vision and our objectives. And I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but I just want to remind us too, is we want to create best-in-class studio cycle yoga and endurance performers by having centralized, efficient, and attainable continuing education. And this is one way, is in the past, Lifetime Academy has been its own arm, its own entity. And we want to make sure that we put this with us, where we have Lifetime Academy as part of our education, that we support using all of our master trainers as well as our studio managers to get this certification out there and known. So if we do that, we're going to have brand new students. And by having brand new students, we're going to get brand new employees. And we're looking for those front row participants that want to join our family here at Lifetime and join us on our team of being a group fitness cycle or a yoga instructor. We also are creating a hybrid studio cycle and yoga certification. So this curriculum with the Lifetime Academy is the same thing. It's hybrid, it's online. It also has live training with it. So we also do live training where we have you be a lab instructor. And then the certification, training, education, development will attract and retain best-in-class performers. We're going to continue the continuing education, not only with you or with the new students, but we'll have a career path for these individuals. So what does it look like? Our onboarding for this is going to begin this week, and what we need to do is complete some online lab work inside of the academy. So how we're going to do that, and I'm just going to go through it real quick, is first understand what is Lifetime Academy? I wanted Jeff on the phone so he could explain it. So Jeff Rosga is the senior director with Lifetime Academy, and he is kind of the guy behind all of this. And he's put together a program with AFA. In the past, we had a school that you could get your ACE certification. We're changing that to AFA coming here in March. And I'm super excited about this because we've had people on our side, myself, Emily Booth, I'm going to forget somebody, but we've been part of the process of building this certification. So I can tell you that we know that the curriculum in this is consistent with our beliefs and our philosophies that we have with Lifetime. And the beautiful part of this too is it's going to be 50% less than what we used to have with ACE. So I think that's awesome.
How are you?
So with this, it's a hybrid learning environment. So we do online and live. And what the hours looks like is in week 1, there's a welcome and orientation webinar. So 2.5 hours, you do a welcome call. And I think I'm not on mute for somebody. So if someone just wants to stick me on mute.
Partner in March, starting in March.
Yeah, if somebody... There we go. Okay, so you'll do a welcome and orientation for 2.5 hours where you get the student comfortable with the courses, let them understand how the LMS works.
Yeah, I was a certification specialist and workshop presenter for AFA for years. But I'm not with AFA anymore.
So the person that was an AFA presenter, would you stick me on mute?
AFA certification.
I don't know if that's June or Sarah. Can you stick me on mute? Okay, thank you. Okay, so 2.5 hours. Then we also
I was talking and they can hear me talking.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so yeah, you just gotta stick mute.
And she's like, June, can you mute everything? I'm like, oh.
Yeah, we can still hear you.
I'm trying. I'm sorry.
Okay, we know everything about you though.
I know. And that's embarrassing. I'm so sorry.
That's okay, but because I don't know which one you are, so we're not judging you yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm muting now.
Awesome. Okay. So in weeks 2 through 8, it's a 2.5 hour commitment per that week because you'll do a 1 hour webinar. They're in there working on their online requirements, and they're working inside of the online world with the AFA manual. And then on Saturdays, there'll be live labs. So you'll have 8 hours of live labs, and then we do a final assessment on that Saturday in week 8 for 2 hours. The final assessment is like a mini audition. And in that mini audition, they go through and they demonstrate the skills and abilities that they got through the certification. And our goal is that they then can join Lifetime. But we'll be honest, not everybody does, but that's okay. So one thing I want you to know with those labs is we give you a lab manual. We give you the facilitation notes for that lab that you facilitate. And it's the practical. So it's your opportunity to work with these individuals, to teach them all the pieces that they need to know to be great in the classroom. You'll go over music, coaching, anatomy. There'll be, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but anything that you need to be successful in that role is all given during those labs. Okay. The other benefit that we have here is it's a shorter session. It's only 8 weeks long. So we have shortened that. And the beautiful part of this, what Jeff has done a great job with, is he listened to what the needs were. They thought it was too expensive. They thought it was too long. And he found something that works with this. So that's AFA. And I think we all know, because we've been in the space before, who AFA is. All right. So I want to stop for a second, and I just want you guys to unmute me and see what questions you have in regards to the certification. What questions are out there?
Jamie, it's Stacy. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi, Stacy.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Hey, so we don't have to be AFA certified for this.
Okay, hold on, because I got some great news for you on that as well. Yes, you do have to be AFA certified, but we're going to help you with that.
Okay.
Okay. Great question.
Jamie, this is Shane out of Boston. How are you?
Shane, good.
So question for you. I know that Lifetime Academy used to be like out of particular clubs or on a regional basis. We've never really had Lifetime Academy in Massachusetts, as we are about to open our 4th club. So would this be a regional thing? Is this how does this work as far as geography?
Okay, so right now we do have Lifetime Academy locations because it is an accredited course. We have that, but if there is an interest, Jeff will go out there and he will see if he can build a school there. So if you get the interest, we will build it. So in March, we're going to stay with the same locations that we have today. But again, if we see that there is a location that needs this, we would love to build it there.
Got it. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. What other questions?
Hey, Jamie, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. This is Jeff, guys. So I'm just kind of listening in the background, but before we move on, and if there are additional questions, I just want to clarify and add some color. Jamie did a wonderful job of laying out the changes, basically that we listened, we heard, we made adjustments. As many or some of you may or may not know, APA was acquired by NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine, a couple of years ago. So they made some significant improvements and enhancements that then made it better aligned, because to date, ACE would have been what we considered best in class from a group fitness certification. ACE is still accepted. ACE is still a viable partner of ours, but this just better aligned with the business from the school perspective, as well as just those curriculum updates that Jamie indicated that Academy faculty were part of that build that's been going on for the last year and a half. In addition, some quick minor changes are, one, the online opportunity that are webinar led, meaning webinar led by the online faculty, is available across the country. Anyone can register to take that piece. When we get into the live portion deliverable, which is now not every week, when Jamie talked about the 8 hours, it will happen week 2, basically in a 4-hour block. It will happen week 5 in a 4-hour block, and then that final kind of 2-hour review and more or less an assessment kind of to give people their feedback on what skills, where their strengths are, where their weaknesses are, where they can improve, etc. So there will be more detail on what that, think of it as a workshop that we've distributed, and why we've distributed that workshop content is to enhance the learning and takeaway. What happens when most of us go to a weekend workshop? It's great information, it's great material, we're energized, we're motivated, but then when we go away, there's no follow-up or loop back to verify what did we take away, what did we put into practice, and what were we able to then actually get additional feedback on after we've practiced it. So this gives us that opportunity to distribute that and gives us that opportunity to have those touch points. There will be a weekly webinar as it lays out from an hours perspective. It aligns to all the master trainer roles from a compensation perspective. And as Jamie alluded to, we have team member opportunity. That pricing is here. And that $200 certification for anyone that is then approved as a master trainer of the Academy is absorbing that cost. So you will get that certification because the Academy has elected to switch certifying bodies, and some of you had either let it lapse or switched to ACE when you were asked to join the Academy originally, or if you were never in that position, but because of the switch in our attempt to align to the operation, that will be covered, and you will at least need to be registered in process prior to the March start. And then we once again have a May start, and then we have another start in August and another start in October. So our intention is to offer this 4 times a year. And then when it comes to that regional question, which was very good, within markets, we try and strategically locate to give access to the most people. Given the majority of the curriculum's online, that doesn't create too much of a challenge other than people just have to account for the basically 3 weekend days that they need to then come to a physical location. And then some of it has to do with our ability from a licensure perspective of where we can actually license or what state regulation indicates. So the best way to approach it is if we generate energy, interest, have an instructor cast, then we can pursue those legal requirements and we can then start to move the process forward. So thank you, Jamie. Yeah. If there's anything else, let me know.
I think he kind of took that great thing is I hope you guys heard that, is he wants to give you that $200 to go get your AFA certification. So if you want to unmute and kind of give a whoop whoop, you can, because I think that's amazing that you get that opportunity.
Whoop, whoop.
Becky. Yeah.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
There's our
And I want
benefit.
to tell you guys too that the AFA cert is great. What Jeff is, it's really refreshed and new and really exciting. And several of your lifetime colleagues, including myself and Jamie, were actually a little bit involved in that process. So I'd be excited.
Yeah. So awesome. So again, and the other thing I want to just repeat too. So if we have you down for the March dates, we need you to make sure that you get to register to get the AFA certification. And then if we have you in May, you want to be registered prior to May. All right. And we'll have those information of how to do that in a little bit. All right, so going to this, so what is required of you to become a master instructor in this function is, first of all, is we're going to be submitting all your names to the Lifetime Academy office to enroll you. So I will get you all enrolled in the course that you need to take. I want you to be on a lookout for an email. It'll be either from Kaylee or it's from the Lifetime Academy, but in that email, it's going to get a generic login. If you are a current instructor for us right now with Lifetime Academy, don't worry about this step. I don't want you to change your login. I want you to use your current login to do this, okay? Once you have that login, then what you want to do is complete the online lab instructor skills evaluation. It'll be in your course, your drop down of all the courses that you have. This course, the reason we chose to do this is because we want to make sure that we can determine your skill set in communication, lesson planning, the response time, and utilizing the 3-step instruction model. And I want you to notice that those are skills and abilities that you need as a leader and an instructor or a facilitator. So lesson planning and response time. We're going to give you a timeline on this, and I want to make sure that you guys follow that and complete it, because it's not for us, it's for your students. So you demonstrate that skill. So to access it, all you do is click on this link right below. It's also on your onboarding document. And you can complete that course. And we're going to give you 1 week to complete the course. And so we'll do a follow-up from that. Okay. I'm going to pause again to see what questions you have on this. Does everybody understand how to get this? Again, I'll give all your names to the Academy office. You'll be looking for an email with a generic login. You log in, clicking on this course here, and you are set to go. My current Lifetime Academy instructors, do you guys have any questions on this? Everybody's good?
All good.
Okay, awesome. All right. So once we do that, I just wanted to put some dates on your calendar. Is once we complete that, and again, I'll get back to you within 1 week, is then there's going to be an orientation, not next week, but the following week. And with that, you'll complete the orientation checklist. I'll send that out to you as soon as you guys submit the first one. You'll have this next orientation checklist to complete. And then again, we'll give you 1 week on that. Hey, Jeff, I know that you're still on. Can you unmute yourself for a second? And will you talk a little bit about that orientation checklist?
Sure.
Okay.
So I apologize, guys, if there's a little bit of background noises. I'm headed from Omaha, actually, to our Des Moines club for Academy meetings. So from an orientation perspective, Jamie alluded to there's sort of a 2-step process. One is, hey, we want to know, teaching skills. Because within the academy, we're reaching an external market, and it's not about just facilitation. It's bringing this holistic picture, being able to. It's the old saying that the best player doesn't always make the best coach, and so we want to make sure we have the right coaches in place to help develop future team members that then become elite performers within Lifetime and then within the industry that we build this brand halo. The secondary piece then, or second step, is this orientation, which we want you to become familiar with so you have a good sense of, different than maybe other things that we've offered internally to Lifetime where there's a lot of operational steps that need to be completed. Lifetime Academy owns that operational step through student services and admissions. So we really own this back end communication, getting the students enrolled, getting them their student checklist, getting them all set up and ready to take the course on March 12th. So from your standpoint, there's not a lot of administrative other than making the connectivity to the roster, the follow-up, So why we put you through this orientation is so you really understand, hey, what the student is being orientated to when they enroll. You understand what the student checklist of steps that they need to complete. It could be setting up their student membership, all the way to making sure that they have their supplies in place, making sure they understand the schedule of when labs meet, when the online schedule starts, when the webinars are. All those details we take and we make sure we're communicating out front, but it also needs to be connected back with you. So if you're not familiar with the process, then when students come to you with questions, that starts to create a gap, and then it starts to create a divide in alignment. So that's why we're also asking you to then go through this next step from an orientation standpoint, so you really know how to navigate the learning management system, so then you can assist your students.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Jeff, is, you talk about the learning management system, is we use a different learning management system that is used internally with the Learning Well. So this is a brand new learning management system that you guys will have to learn, but it is not any more difficult. So thank you, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the orientation. Then I want to make sure you guys put these dates down, because then after that, we're going to be having a training every week. And I really liked what Abria did for the test out. So I'm going to do that as well, because it's so hard to get all of you guys together to do a training. I'll be doing some virtual trainings with you each week. I listed what the topics are going to be. And we'll do the training to get you prepared for that week of March 12th, the very first session. We'll let you know if you're going to be teaching that session of March 12th. Jeff, again, is that, we'll let them know a week prior to?
Yeah, what we'll do is, obviously, there's two things that are in process. One, you getting through these steps. Two, that you demonstrate the knowledge, skills, and abilities and attitudes to be an instructor of the academy. Then from there, we'll look at, hey, is your state or location an exempt location? Are we able to offer? And can we generate enough interest? We all know within the area of group fitness especially, it's not, external marketing, it's who we know and what energy we can create within the region and the clubs. And then we'll determine what markets. The markets we are currently marketing to and have out are the ones that we have run in the past. So if you went to the Lifetime Academy website, you're going to see that small sampling or where we have instructors, but we are not limited. We can expand, but it just depends on how we get through this process, and then we'll make that determination.
Yeah, awesome. Great. I want you guys to unmute again, because I want to see what questions that you have out there for us. Nothing?
Hey, Jamie, I did have one question just from, and I apologize to go on a tangent, but now that we're also adding cycling and Emily's on the call, was that part of today's agenda, or because it's still part of the academy, or were you holding off on that?
No, I did because I just didn't have enough information to talk about it. But
okay.
Why don't you speak a little bit to that as well?
Okay. So the same sort of scope and sequence, guys, that we're talking about, if you raise your hand, or Emily has identified you as a master trainer on the cycling side, we have, and Emily's been very closely involved, as have I. We have now stages. Cycling is going to become our internal cycling certification. Not only does it align to the bikes that we have within the clubs, there's also CEUs with all the major organizations that it's attached to. And Emily actually went to their master instructor training because I wanted to assure that it had alignment based on things that I've been working with them on, just like we did with AFA. And she felt very good at the direction. So following the same process is what we're going to do in the beginning, because the teaching skills, the orientation, those are all the same. Now, the LMS integration will be slightly different just because they already have online curriculum, and I didn't want to rebuild the wheel. But following the same steps up to that process and then identifying with Emily which markets will be ready to go, we're following the same scope and sequence. Anything to add on that, Emily or Jamie?
I'm good. Emily, do you have anything?
I do not. I think you covered it, but it's really, if you are interested and we think we have, Jeff, can you give a little color of how we'll be identifying those markets for them?
So the markets specifically in March will be what I would consider more from a pilot perspective, because cycling is brand new. Cycling is not something we've offered in the past. I'm going to then rely on Jamie and Emily primarily to go, yes, I feel this individual, they're ready to go. We will then put you through the online modules. As we've done with AFA, you will have an opportunity to go to a live master training workshop that's covered by Lifetime, not travel and expenses, but the actual live workshop and the time to attend. That will be part of it, but it's not necessitated for you to start teaching. It will just making sure that you're through the respective online modules to be able to teach. Markets will be identified. We're not looking to launch everywhere in March because once again, we have 4 starts throughout the year. So we will start with the ones that Emily determines are ready and we feel the instructor is ready. But the process and scope and sequence, like I mentioned, guys, is consistent because it's just a different format, not a different process from an educational standpoint.
And I think that Jamie had her hand raised. Is that true, Jamie?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So I'm so glad that you brought up the piece of the indoor cycling. So just to be clear, the indoor cycling master trainers will go through the process of AFA, even though we're certified in ACE, and then we go through the process of master training through the stages, which you partner with, and then that will determine the whole plan as far as indoor cycling master training goes. Is that what my understanding is?
So there will be a select number of the most qualified candidates and who have the most desire to present the indoor cycling certification, and that where we also determine that there's a broad enough need within the market, that you're located in. So just for those master trainers for cycle, stages, just so you have a little background on it, it's an amazing training for power, heart rate, and understanding. I think it's going to be fantastic for all of our performers from the perspective of learning how to utilize that Stages bike, but then also the education content on really great content on heart rate zones and how to use power. So if you're somebody that, this is going to be you have to be able to speak to this and to have a really, really great knowledge of understanding the applications of heart rate zones, power zones, and how to apply power in a cycle class. There's not a whole lot in the initial training that is built around the coaching side or musicality side, which I'm looking to evolve and add to our own curriculum for our own performers in addition. But again, the basic content is fantastic. But as you're considering this is something that we want folks that are really, really super comfortable with educating to power, to watts, and to heart rate.
And that's based
So just
on
to add,
the instructors that you choose, they have the best qualities, and then we move forward from there if and when we are choose.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
But
Thank
so
you.
expressing interest in that, to me is a great first step.
No, yeah, that's why I'm asking, because I'm okay.
That's what I figured.
AFA, power, stages. I mean, you're talking my language. Am I going to cross over from cycle to group fitness to, make sure that I can study abroad, but understanding that this is a process that is not chosen by me, it's chosen by you, So that's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah. So we'll be determining the individuals that will be leading that training. And
so
your desire is a huge part of that.
So for everyone on the call, what I want you guys to understand is, hey, whether it's yourself, whether it's another team member on the team, raising your hand and reaching out, just as you did, Jamie, right now, to Abria and or Emily, and going, hey, I'm interested. The whole steps in these process, guys, is to, yes, it is in essence kind of an evaluation. We want to make sure it's the right, not only motivational fit, which you raising your hand tells us it is, but then that you have the knowledge, skills, and abilities, and that we are able to coach you and see where those gaps are and or where you're very strong, and that it's the right fit. So these serve as really gateways from a foundational certification perspective. The Stages cycling, as Emily alluded to, is going to familiarize people to that whole world of indoor cycling. Whether they're going to be amp, edge, power, those become the application of the foundational learning they get. Within that master training, she alluded to, yes, there's a heavy emphasis on the heart rate piece, the science piece, but there's also coaching and cueing that's part of it. Because as we know, coaching and cueing and cycling, because you don't move, you're on a bike, you're pedaling a bike, there's not a lot of dynamics, but musicality and how you coach can make or break a cycle class only because you're in this stationary position. Studio, there's much more movement. There's a whole host of additional things that are going on, but there's still foundational skills that are transferable. So from a master trainer perspective, those that truly are cut out for the academy will probably be some of our best master trainers in each of the respective markets, because you can take all the way from the beginner to the experienced teacher, and they can all take something away. And the more you do it and the more you teach, the more it only improves yourself and you grow. Being involved with the academy myself and then still teaching, I take away things because I'm always brought back to the basics. So that's what makes this so exciting, is it's not to replace the signature things that people move into when they get into the world of Lifetime, but this is to really set that foundational base so we know what they know and we know they have that understanding, so we can compress that time and get them in front of our members and having that wonderful experience faster and quicker.
And you guys, I'm gonna have to wrap this meeting up, otherwise it's gonna naturally just shut off for me. So I wanna make sure that you guys received all the information that you had. If you have any other further questions, please let me know what they are. Put them in that Yammer group again, because we can learn from each other. And I think we hit everything.
Jamie?
Yes.
Just for follow-up, maybe in this, I did have some questions coming through via text regarding compensation for this particular role. And also, if somebody was not aware that academy training involved cycle, I would assume they can still jump into this, but we need to get them through the same onboarding procedure for academy instruction, correct?
Yeah, so I taped this, so this is going to be going on the Yammer group. So if there's others that were not on the call today, they can review this. So, and then let us know the interest. Make sure they're on my list that I can give to the office of the academy, so we get them through the first few steps. And then in regards, yeah.
Go ahead, Jamie, in regards to compensation.
Yeah, in regards to compensation, I'm finalizing all that compensation, and I know it's put the cart before the horse on this one, with John Riley as well as the compensation team. So I'll have communication out. I wanted it today. John's been sick, so we should have that out by early next week. But I will tell you, you guys are getting paid for this, and we'll let you know the amounts and everything by next week. So. And
guys, so you guys know, it's consistent. There is an effort, regardless of function, it will be consistent across disciplines.
Yep. Perfect. All right. I really appreciate all of your time and your amazing questions that you had today. We're all here to support you. So if you have any further questions that you think about throughout the day, please reach out, send us an email. Otherwise, stick them on Yammer and we'll respond as quickly as we can. You guys have a fabulous weekend. And again, thank you.